Hi there, it's Mr. Thill. So earlier this week I challenged you guys in class to design a device that you could use to make sound waves visible. A sound wave detector is what Mystery Science calls it. So I'm doing the same project. I'm going to go ahead and share my process of doing this from beginning to end. So you'll be able to see any successes or failures I have as part of this project, just like I'm sure you had as well. Because as you know, part of engineering and science design is failing many times before you find something that works. So before I start building, I kind of sketched out what I want to see happen in my design. I have a speaker. It's attached to a player that's up here on the shelf here, actually. And then in my speaker, I want to have some kind of container on the speaker with water in it. And my goal is to get, or to be able to see the water kind of vibrating. Now, if I can get that to work pretty easily, I would also like to add in like another detector here, which would be like a rope or a string. And I would like to see that rope or string vibrates, you know. And if I can get that rope or string to vibrate, then maybe I can use like a cup on the end to hear whatever's playing on the speaker. So I kind of want to set this up and do this design, so I'm going to walk you through the process and kind of show you how I'm going to try to do this. So we shall see. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is kind of look at my speaker setup and see where I would place my device or my container and kind of how big the speaker itself is. So here's my speaker. The actual speaker part of it's in the middle. It's like right here, the part that goes up and down when there's music. So I want to find a container that kind of fits in this area here. So the first one I think I'm going to try is this little glass container, this little glass bowl. It fits pretty snugly in the speaker itself. So if there's any vibrations, I'm hoping that it'll go through the glass into the into water I place inside of it. So yeah, so my first test is water inside this glass to see if I can see the vibrations. Okay, so I have my glass container with my water ready to go. So right there's some water inside if you can't tell. So I'm going to go ahead and test this out now. The way I'm going to see if it's actually working is twofold. Number one, can I visually see the water kind of vibrating? Number two, if I fill the glass, do I feel the vibrations coming through strongly? If I don't feel the vibrations coming through strongly, then it's probably not going to be a good container for sending sound waves from place to place. So I've chosen a song that's got a lot of bass in it just because I want to get as much power in my volume as I can. I will not talk while the song's playing. I'll just kind of zoom in and see if we see any reaction or not, and then fill the outside to see if it's any vibrations to it. So let's see if the glass container with water has a good amount of vibration from the sound. Alright, so I see a little bit of movement in the water. When I test the glass on the outside, though, I'm not feeling very much. So I would not call this a great setup for transferring sound waves from place to place. So I might try something else. Alright, so upon closer investigating of the speaker, I think that one of the issues might be that the fabric around the speaker was kind of muffling the sound waves a bit. So what I've done is I've taken some rocks and kind of put them on one edge of it to pull the speaker more tight down so that hopefully more of the vibration can transfer from the speaker itself to the water container. So let's see if this has any impact on the amount of vibrations I'm seeing and feeling. So here we go. Water container, glass container, with rocks holding it down to the speaker. Let's see if this works any better. Alright, so feeling it while that was going on, I felt a little bit more vibration, but I still wasn't that impressed with how much I was getting. So I'm going to say that the glass container is probably not a good conductor of sound. I'm going to try something. Okay, so I've swapped out the containers, and now I'm going to go with a metal container. I've also taken out the water for a minute. I just want to see if this is a good conductor of sound waves or not. So I put some dry goods in there, some salt, just to see if that salt will move around as it kind of plays out. So we're going to try it with salts and a metal container now and see if the sound wave transfers any better. Alright, so let's try this one out, see what our results look like. Alright, so with that container, I could see more vibration on the outside of it, but I'm going to theorize it because this is a lighter container than the metal one. I'm not getting as much sound transferred as I was in the last time. So I might add the rocks back on to see if I get more waves coming through. because I didn't really see a lot of bouncing of salt there, which is what I want to see. So we'll try that, see if that improves. Alright, so rocks have been added. Metal container is now more flush to the speaker itself. So let's see if the sound waves transfer any better now. Here we go. Alright, definitely a better reaction there. I could even hear the salt kind of shaking around in there. Okay, so this is the third iteration of our metal container. I've now added the water back into it. So now we have water and salt in there. I kept the salt in there because I think the salt's a good visual for seeing if the vibrations are coming through or not. I took the rocks off because I think the added water will give me enough weight to kind of make this go closer to the sound itself. So let's see how this goes. Okay, that was perfect. So when I felt the side of the container, I could feel the vibrations coming through very strongly. I could see the salt moving at the base, and I could even see the surface of the water moving around as well. So I would say that I've accomplished the first goal of my design, which is to make a container with water vibrate on the sound itself. So now I'm going to move on to phase 2, which is trying to get the vibration into a string. Okay, so design problem with string in that metal container is that I didn't really have a good way to attach it to the metal container. So after looking at the Mystery Science document, the comment was that construction paper is pretty conductive for sound waves. So what I've done is I've rigged up a little bit of a a string holder construction paper here. I've taken a metal brad and put it below the string, put it on top of the string. So my idea is if I put this below my tin container on the speaker, the sound will hopefully go from the bottom of the brad to this part of the brad and then up the string itself, like a guitar string. So I don't know if this is going to solve the design problem or not. I guess we will find out. Okay, so this is my first attempt at the string rig up. So what I've done here is I've taken my construction paper with the string kind of bradded into it. I put that below my metal container. My goal is that when I turn the music on, I will see vibration in the water and in the salt here, and then I will also see that vibration traveling up the string. I've rigged the string up to a candle, so the candle holds it in place and it holds it nice, tight like a guitar string. So I know I'm successful if I turn this on and I see vibration in the string. If it doesn't work, then I'll try a different string or change the location of the string. We'll see what happens. Alright, let's test it out, see if it works. Alright, so I could definitely see some vibration in the string there, a pretty good amount of it actually. So I think I'm ready to try the last phase of the project, which is to attach a phone to the end of it and see if I can hear the bass. So let's see. Okay, so now that I've got a rig that can send sound waves from the container through a line, through a string, I'm going to set up the other end of my rig, which is my little telephone cup. So I'm taking my string, I've attached it to the brad to the base of it, and I'm just going to use a plastic cup for this. I poked a hole in the bottom of the plastic cup. I'm going to stick the brass through the plastic cup, attach it, secure it, and then go hold it tight from the speaker to see if I can hear just the bass notes of the music that I'm playing. So we shall see if this design works. Okay, so I've rigged up my setup. I've placed the telephone cup on the end of the string, and now we're going to see if I can play the music and hear the bass through the string. So here we go, pulling the string tight. And alright, so when I held the cup to my ear, I could definitely hear just the bass sounds isolated. So I would say that I've designed a sound wave detection device that actually works and has a telephone cup at the end of it. So it took a couple of attempts and different design models to it, but hey, eventually I got it to work, and that's part of engineering, is not making it work, but then finding a way to make it work by solving your problems.